Titans have been a really good team. They play good football, good brand of football. Um, they run, they build it, they run the ball well. Tough offensive line, one of the best backs in the league. Um, and they play great defense to go with that. And so it's going to be a tough challenge. We're going to have to play uh, great in all three phases, and we look forward to that.
What is your faith in the run defense in general? Since you guys don't get to do a lot of live hitting this summer, I know it was a big emphasis this offseason. How do you feel?
Man, we excited to step inside those lines, and we're gonna let our game speak for itself.
This is a wordy question about your head coach. You know, he brings in Joe Woods. He brings in new players. He's kind of led the reconstruction of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that he feels like it's more of his team?
I mean, it is his team. I mean, he's our leader. He tells us where we're going. He sets the tone, and he's selected a cabinet of captains to kind of keep it all in motion. And Sunday is our first opportunity to put it all on display. So we're excited about it.
How do you feel about the role of captain and just the overall leadership of both veterans and Derek Carr, Eric McCoy?
Well, firstly, every person in this building is a leader to some capacity. Even if it's just in leading themselves. And I think our head coach sets the tone as the destination, how we get there, and then it's on us as captains, the guys of the team, respect enough to echo that message and to really set the tone on the field and the way that we play. Because this game always going to come down to how you play, and it's going to come down to execution. And I think we do that by the way that we work. We've had a phenomenal week of practice, and our practices are hard. It's a strain mentally, it's a strain physically, and that's the way that we like it. Because our standard is winning, and whatever we got to do to win, and we got enough guys here that knows what it takes to win, and so we got to be at that level.
And we know about Derrick Henry, but what challenges does Ryan Tannehill and DeAndre Hopkins in this passing, especially from the linebacker?
I mean, they got a phenomenal offensive unit. It's not just Derrick Henry. Derrick is a monster and a machine, and definitely don't take that lightly. He's one of the top backs in the league. But Tannehill is a good general. He knows where to go with the football. Very smart player. Been in this game a long time. They got some great weapons on the outside. Of course, getting Hopkins this offseason. He's been one of the top receivers in the league for a long time. And then they got some really good tight ends who can make some plays, and some good young players. And so it's going to be a challenge for us, but we're looking forward to it.
Demario, how would you describe the relationship between how y'all are playing defensively and the atmosphere in the dome?
Oh, man, the dome, man, I can't wait to be there Sunday. I hope it's electric like it always is. And I hope they take it up just a couple of notches, because when the crowd turn up, we turn up. And so, man, just looking forward to being in that dome. It ain't no place like it. And I think it has that type of notoriety across the league that it's tough coming in playing in the dome. And so our job is to play great ball to make it go up even louder, And so I think back to like 2018, 2019 is probably the loudest I ever heard the dome. And so we got to get back to that level. But when we're playing great, the dome gets louder. And so I'm just excited for Sunday. It should be a fun time.
That's kind of like what I was going to ask you about. Is like the record in the dome the last couple of years has not been like the same as it was the first couple of years here. And like, how much of that do you think can like build off each other? When y'all get the dome louder, it makes it easier for y'all defensively.
It goes hand in hand. We definitely need our crowd. We definitely need that enthusiasm. It's an extension of our team, especially when the defense is on the field. When it's electric in the dome, that it helps us play better. And when we're playing better, it becomes more electric in the dome. And so, I mean, I think that's true to our city. Like, the city breathes the Saints, and the Saints breathe the city.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand, and you can't have one without the other.
Mario, if I did my research right, you've only faced Derrick Henry his rookie year. Is that it?
Me personally,
Yeah,
or
you personally.
yes, that's correct. I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I think so.
What year was that?
16.
Yes, that would be accurate.
But you faced other physical guys. I mean, do we make too much of that as a generic thing that his physicality brings an extra dimension, or you notice when you're facing him as opposed to different runners that you'll get every week?
I mean, he's different. There's no other back like him in the league. I mean, he's the biggest back in the league, and he's also one of the fastest back in the league. I mean, it just makes it a matchup challenge. And so he's one of, if not the best back in the league, and it is what it is, and so, yeah.
And then on the flip side, obviously, physicality is important in the run game, but how important is discipline, especially with sort of the active aggressive approach you guys want to take up front this year? That every gap is filled. Like, is that the underrated element of a good run defense?
I think the key to a good run defense is having good players, and we got good players. And then the second part is execution, and we have phenomenal coaches who do a good job of helping us be in a position to execute, understanding not just our job, but what the offense is trying to do. And so when you get out there on Sunday, you just turn it loose. And that's what we're looking forward to doing.
What's the challenge in not just defending Derrick Henry, but Tajay Spears as well, and kind of that 1-2 punch they bring in the run game?
Most teams that you play are going to have a 1-2 punch. And so when you have a physical back like Derrick Henry, usually your second back is going to be a splash back that they want to use in the pass game or on the outside and perimeter. But you got to be ready for everything. So it should be a good challenge.
Mario, as a veteran, how much do you just appreciate going to a new season?
I mean, I think not just as a veteran, you got to appreciate every day here. We were talking about that earlier today, man. It's just a blessing to be in this position. We work so hard to get here, and you're here, so you never want to take a day for granted. I mean, it's a grind. So it's a grind physically and mentally. So it's challenging, just like I imagine any job is to get up and go to. But when you're having those type of days, you gotta remind yourself of how hard you work to be here and how much of a blessing and an honor and a privilege it is to be here.
Do you have your pre-game speech like when you?
Oh, I got it dialed in. Y'all better be ready. I got it dialed in. Praise God.
Demario, how much do you look forward to? I know we talked about just how difficult it is to bring down a guy like Derrick Henry, but how much do you look forward to just these challenges, like these best on best in the league?
I mean, if you don't get excited about great challenges at this level, you're probably in the wrong business. And I don't think anybody here doesn't embrace a great challenge. And that's just across the league.
Has the amount of tackling that you do in the preseason changed even during your career? I can't remember exactly when the delineation was kind of league-wide to have less hitting in training camp. I think it was maybe around the last CBA, but is that something that's even changed? And is that, the second part of that question, is that harder to gear yourself up for week one when you don't do a lot of this?
Tackling is like riding a bike, Might take you a minute to catch and stride, but once you got it, you're good.
Yeah.
And I think the challenge in anybody is just trying to start fast. And that's everything. Across the line, across the team, at every position, everybody's trying to get in stride as fast as possible. And that's usually what you see happening in those first 4 or 5 weeks, is guys just trying to catch their stride. And so we got a good opportunity to come out week one and start fast, and that's what we're trying to do.